Good morning, America. This is your good friend, Dr. Turi. And the first thing I want to do, of course, is to thank Kerry Cassidy for that phenomenal show and the great opportunity that she gave me to pass on my cosmic wisdom to a large audience on Project Camelot. Tell you what, she is definitely a very sharp person. She asked me the right questions. She was captivated by my words, my stories, but she never lost track of her show. So that to me depicts obviously professionalism, and she let me finish my stories. So in many ways, once again, I want to say thank you to Kerry. And that comes at the perfect time because sudden enough, a lot of religious people who think I'm the devil, or, you know, those atheists and skeptic and agnostic people out there, they don't like me. So they have managed to fire me from Facebook. It's been like, what, 2 or 3 days now. They removed me from Facebook, and last week they managed to remove me from LinkedIn. And of course, there's no way for me to go back on Wikipedia or whatever. So now I can rely only on all my supporters who can appreciate what I have to offer to share my cosmic wisdom. So one more time, I want to thank every one of you guys who left me with some really, really good notes. And again, it is very difficult for me when I am into the archetypal realm of supracosmic consciousness to go down to this physical level and answer the host of rational questions. I had these problems previously also with Lucas in his TV show. So if you really want to understand why some of these people cannot relate to me, you have to read the newsletter which is associated with this YouTube videos. Again, there are people that are visual and people that are audible. Those visual are pretty fast and they can match up my turbocharged mind. They can actually learn and decipher the message in a really, really fast pace. But if you are a visual, it's very different. Then your UCI is set in a way that you assimilate deeper the information, but you need a lot of time, especially if your Mercury, which regulates your critical thinking and the way you learn or assimilate to pass on information, is in the Earth sign. So you need much more time. So I gave you a bunch of informations in clarification on why people sometimes leave me with a negative comment. So it's all educational. That's what I do. So keep the time to read that, and you'll enjoy it, of course. There are some people, of course, who are very religious. Mostly they are the people who managed to fire me. So you recognize them mostly when they regurgitate Bible verses, or when they're going to pray for me or try to avoid me to go to hell. And those people are the one who needs me the most, because they have absolutely no idea of Jesus' initial cosmic ministry that involved the Savior to introduce humanity to our Father in the heavens. And by this, I mean the essence of the 12 apostles, which represent, of course, the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 hours of the day, the 12 sins, the 12 jury, the 12 tribe of Israel, the 12 notes of music, and so forth. And I'm not sure, I can't recall if I approached that yesterday in Kerry's show, but I'll explain everything in the newsletter. So just again, take the time to read it and enjoy it. Okay. So what else do we have that's important to mention here? The fact of the matter is you cannot delegate cosmic consciousness. in supreme cosmic wisdom, if your UCI or your unique celestial identity is not advanced enough. So these are the people who are going to, look for viral videos that have absolutely nothing to offer educationally, but entertaining. They'll be most of the time being entertained. And these young souls are kind of mentally lazy, put it this way. They are at that stage of evolution where they're not in a need to educate themselves to stop the reincarnation principle, put it this way. So they are young souls, that's how I call them. They're still human beings, of course. And then you have, in fact, it's important to realize that you also have a different crowd of people that are very educated. Now, science became their god, and there are 5 limited human senses what dictate what's real and what's not real. And those are our professional students. They have PhDs and doctorates, and they rely mostly on what they call the fact to go through life and to assimilate information. Yet there is a big, big, big difference between education and intelligence. In fact, one of my psychologists, he was actually a psychiatrist, doctor. He told me that, Dr. Turi, I have learned more in your 7 week-long crash course than the 7 years I spent in an accredited university. So there is a link where you can click on all the doctors and the PhD and who is who in America, scientists, NASA students, mayors that have joined and then that read my work every single day. So in other words, you cannot be a young soul and benefit from my work just yet. But if you're patient and you keep listening and you keep learning, all human beings have the process and the option to grow mentally and spiritually and psychically. So here we are. Now, there is all sorts of information that explain what is an ADD. Like me, I'm an ADD, and that means I was born. It's a gift. It's not a disease. It's not a disease. I was born to challenge the status quo. I was born to rewrite what has been accepted as a solid discipline and rewrite the books. And again, Einstein was ADD. Nikola Tesla was ADD. So there is a big difference between education and intelligence, and some people use their intellectual capacity for the rationale, for the physical world, for science, and I'm using my gift to promote the spiritual values of the human experience. All right. So what else do we have? It's amazing that one of the people wrote on Kerry's pages video. When Kerry is doing the listening and do not ask many questions, the show is remarkable. That's what somebody wrote. Can't find it anymore. It's lost somewhere out there. But what I'm trying to say is that Kerry was able to do both. Okay, and obviously that confirmed that if she's able to appreciate and somehow be mesmerized by my stories, that means she realized also as a professional that the audience is doing the same. They're all listening, and that captivating speaker does a good job. And sad enough, again, the young soul will think I'm an egocentric because I say me, my life. It's all about my life story. So if I was to pronounce your name, it wouldn't help the case. So, it's important to realize that some people have also some insecurity or inferiority complexes and, assume that I'm an egocentric because the way I project myself, my supreme confidence in making predictions and things of this nature. So, you got to bypass all that. All right. So what else do we have? I took an example. I did a show. It's called What Your Weird Stories, a podcast. This podcast will be available on the 20th of August, in a few days from now. Now you're going to see the difference between Kerry Cassidy, Joe Montaldo, and all the professionals that have involved me and those 2 young kids that actually interviewed me. Okay, I want to say thank you to them. But in some ways, when the show is ready, you're going to listen to these guys and what they say and how impossible it was for them to separate themselves from my stories, so to speak. They were so captivated. So then you could see that they are starting, they're young kids, they're very smart, they're very curious, they're very spiritual, and my hat goes to them. But I'm trying to make a point here. So in 10, 15, 30 years from now, they'll be like Kerry or like Joe or any other of these guys, or George Norrie or Hopper, bless his soul. So this is nothing to diminish the intelligence and the value of those two kids. But again, when he comes out, just pay attention and you see what I'm talking about a little bit better. All right, so it's very important to never ever assume anything about anything or anybody. But, you know, give room for whatever you may not know and keep an open mind, okay? All right, so there is quite a lot of a thumbs up on that interview. And again, I want to thank all the people who have endorsed and supported and understood my message. Again, those who don't, read, click on that link, okay, and read, because you are not a visual, but you are audible. Oh, visual. Visual means you assimilate better when you see, when you read. And audible, you're fast enough to hear and learn at the same time. We're all different. Remember, we have trillions and billions of human beings here, and every one of us has a very complex and very unique and very different UCI, or unique celestial identity. Sad enough, I suffered the same treatment when I was with Lucas Alexander on this TV show, Age of Truth. You know, I try to explain, but people don't understand me. I am out there on the archetypal realm of supraconsciousness, channeling an entity called Draco, trying to make you aware of things that are so, so deep, and all of a sudden I get hit. Hey, what type of food you like? If I exaggerate, so you understand what I'm saying. So I am in the speed of light. I have to come back on Earth, on this dense physical world. I have now to detach myself, to disconnect from that line, and I have to associate with the 5 rational, normal human senses asking me a question. So that is a delay. That is a delay that makes me sometimes not being able to really pay attention or really understand the question. So again, you know, Lucas did a phenomenal job. He's also a pro. You can see that. You know, I want to thank him and all of the people that have had me on their show, allowing me to pass on my cosmic wisdom. And again, if you have a TV show or radio show and you want to dedicate Dr. Turi's UFO's experience or his cosmic wisdom, well, just shoot me an email and we go from there. Big or small, I'll do all those shows because my mission is very, very, very critical. We are that time. All right, so what else do we have? In fact, I have the link. Who are the Draconis and the Reptilians, that will lead you to also listen to the show that I did with Lucas and read again the same type of comment of people who do not understand their psyche or their UCI. I'm a returning guest again. It's going to be fun with Joe. Joe is definitely a pro too, and he's been into UFOs forever. And I'm glad I'm a returning guest on this show, like I did with Dr. J, which is also a smart cookie. I actually wrote something about Joe that was asked by Lucas Alexander in our email exchange. Is asking me if the prediction that I made on Joe Montaldo radio show came to pass. I say yes. I told him they all came to pass. They usually do. Then I was joined later on by Dr. J. That's my good friend. He had me also a few times on his show. And there, he confirmed my 6.0 earthquakes and, of course, the deadly tsunami prediction that I made on his show. So, again, all links are live. So all you got to do is to click and pay attention to what I said. So I did the same with Kerry. I always give dates. In fact, I went all the way up to next month. So it's you know, I ask everybody to get a pen on her show and write down those dates. And you know, those dates are there for you. I will elaborate them later on. It is also important for many of you who do not know that when William Shatner asked me to be on his radio show, he says, Dr. Turi, you know, I'll give you the option to be on national TV, but you have to give me the proof that your predictions are real. And I did just that. And, you know, when the guys came here to do the TV show in my house, they were blown away. So basically, do not assume, you know, take a chance, give me a chance and give you a chances, because I know what I'm talking about. And then again, it's you to find out, because me, I know. Or it's me to know and you to find out. Okay. All right. So this newsletter's title is Kerry Cassidy, Project Camelot, Predictions to Remember. Okay. And the date that I gave, August 13th, and that's all about shocking news, explosion, large earthquakes, volcano, you know, maybe airplane crashing, you know, it's pretty shocking. So I give the 13th of August, and I also give the date of September 10th to have the same type of cosmic wind creating such incredible natural disaster, possibility of tsunami in the process, and all sorts of shocking news. So August 13 was the first date I gave Kerry. Then the second one was August 22nd, and that's more about the current windows that we have now, you know, like crazy people killing each other's, killing people like we had last weekend with this tremendous amount of death induced by this reptilian infected lost soul, killed so many innocent people. So August 22nd, this window of plutonic deadly window will come back, and that's deadly news and terrorism and police and secret FBI, Russia, and so forth. And I will elaborate a little bit more on this window later on. And the last one was August 26th, which is the new beginning and ending of life. And that's when I predict my mother's death to the day, and when David Icke was refused a visa to go to Australia. And that means, you know, I don't know how many thousands of people were waiting for David to speak over there. So all of them have experienced an ending because he was not allowed by some government official to get his visa to lecture in Australia. I would hate that. Believe me, I have a lecture to do in Australia next year, and I would hate if somebody stopped my visa. But you know, when you look at what they are doing to me on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and for Google to delete so many of my articles, and in all the major news media, major website I used to write, they removed me everywhere. So sad enough, you know, my popularity went all the way down because I had cancer. I could not go back and lecture on UFOs like I did with the top UFO speakers all over the world. And then the new UFO promoters usually look for those guys either on Wikipedia, they Google top UFO speakers, or they go on LinkedIn, top UFO speakers. They ain't gonna find Dr. Turi because they removed me. And then they think, well, I have nothing to offer. And then they see my incredible slideshow on UFOs, my entire life. Talking about it is incredible, is good. I can see that. I can see your reaction, guys. But watching the pictures, and especially leading me into the cosmic code of addiction later on, and then giving you the proof that the record is real, I ain't going to get that in any show. You have to be part of one of my UFOs experience. So again, at the end of the Cosmic Code newsletter, you have all my future UFOs appearances, and hopefully I'll be at the contact in the deserts, not too far away from where I am in California, and then fulfill my mission to educate the masses about the reptilians and Draconis agenda and more. All right, so I'll be also speaking, of course, in San Diego. You have all that set in my in that newsletter. But also in the newsletter, it says in yellow, keep up with the current SOS to the world plutonic deadly news, deadly windows. So all you got to do is click on that link once you have read everything, and then go back to August the 5th, okay, when I wrote a quatrain. In fact, I wrote a quatrain in 2013 mentioning Hitler, my legacy of fire, death, and drama will return upon the earth. Then I wrote German, Viking, skin alike, black and white, red blood, fire, war, violence, passion rules, God nowhere to stop fire. That was the California fire. Hitler, evil spirit reborn. And then when you look at the news, whoa, 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 whoa. If you cannot connect with my work, I do not know what to do. So I keep adding more and more news and setting up. When I said it's just the beginning, following those two deadly shootouts that we had in Walmart and somewhere else. Now we have on August 7th, okay, on the exact date, right on the nail, on the 7th of August, 4 more people were killed and 2 more were injured in Orange County stabbing spree. Now, of course, you're going to have all the conspiracy head out there who are going to say, well, this is all made up. It's a conspiracy. It's not real. And this is why one of the reasons when I'm a little bit upset about David Icke, saying that 9/11 didn't happen, or Sandy Hook did not happen, when I predicted it a year and a half before and published it in my books, David is not cosmic conscious. He's had his own gift. Don't get me wrong. He's got the same dragon's head as Kerry. That's why he was put by the reptilians right on the top. And that's why he cannot do anything with me. He's being split. But the Draconis opened the door to Kerry and I to communicate so I could reach you. I give you the date of August 7. I said it's not over yet. It's just the beginning. It's the tip of the iceberg. And right on the date, another 4 people get killed. I mean, what else? How much can I do? I don't know. All right. So, and yet I did not even check just yet on the on other predictions. Like for example, what's going on in various group. But I always says that there is also a very high chances of earthquakes at 6 or above 6.0. And yesterday we had a 5.9. Doesn't count. It's a 5.9, but it's pretty close to 6. And it's again during my window on the 7th. All right, so don't have nothing to prove. It's all right in front of your eyes if you know how to investigate. All right, let's go and elaborate a little bit on those news today, which are about death and drama and Russia and God knows what. McConnell campaign suspended from Twitter for sharing video with a threat. Wow. Wow. Remember what I told you? Whatever you do, whatever you say, during one of my window will follow you for the rest of your life. This, I don't think that McConnell guy is very smart. He's not educated in as far as cosmic wisdom is concerned, of course. And, as much he's a threat and he's been removed for good reason or from Twitter, I have been suspended, on Google, Wikipedia, LinkedIn, and now Facebook, because I'm a threat to the Christians. Am I really a threat? Of course not. Of course not. When those guys are lying together, they become a force of evil that are doing all they can to stop me reaching you and your kids. Okay? So it's important, again, if you're a supporter of my work, to help me. So understand, go under your stars, okay? And then reach above your stars into the cosmic code. So this way you will understand your cosmic beauty, your UCI, your divine, unique celestial identity, and the part you have to play to serve society, to serve humanity through some very karmic and poses experiences, and some of them are incredible. And as I said before, incredible experiences breed incredible people that have incredible teachings wisdom or stories to offer to others. All right, so, all right, now we have Kraft Heinz nightmare is far from over. Well, you know, everybody has tested Kraft Heinz. That's pretty good. It's French fries. I use it all over the place. I like it. But meantime, those CEOs need me. You know, they never, ever in million years would be lucky enough to land on Dr. Turi and then invest $10 to find out that all those corporations, including there, are kind of going belly up. It was all fully predicted well before it happened. You could still go to my website or at the end of this newsletter and click and order this Nostradamus Personal and Universal Dragon Forecast for 2019. Then you're going to see that Kraft Heinz would have had the opportunity and be prepared to what's happening for them, and all induced by the cosmic codes. Interesting. Russia, well, Russia is part of the keywords that I have for you guys. Russia releases footage of its new stealth attack drone. There you go. Again, you know, in Kerry's show last night, I mentioned that the reptilians will stimulate the mind of engineers to create weapons of war. And then you have the proof. You need to know, in case you do not know, that Putin, president of Russia, okay, Vladimir Putin, was born with the head of the dragon in Aquarius. And that means anything to do with spying, technology, spyware, he's very lucky. And anything doing with Aquarius, dealing with Aquarius means also nukes and letters technology. So he's spying and stealing all the American ingenuity, because he has that dragon's head that allows him to do that. Yesterday, in my other video, I give you a lot of examples to what Aquarius is all about. It rules Japan, earthquakes, the sudden release of energy. I talk about Pearl Harbor, America being born with the tail of the dragon in Aquarius. I mentioned all that, making this country prone to nuke attacks. I talked about this other in that show yesterday. I can't remember, but it's there for you to investigate. So if you landed on that video, you can catch up with the others. There's so much you're going to pick up in those videos. What else do we have for Russia? Russia released footage of its new stealth attack drone. We discussed that one. U.S. fighter jets intercept Russians bombers near Alaska. That's not good. That's not good. This has been going on for a while now. They're teasing each other. Now the ego is in place. And then when during this SOS, to the world deadly window, especially those plutonic window, an accident, there is no accident, it can only happen. It's just a matter of time. It's not if or when, it's just a matter of time. And then let's have hopes. Okay, radiation levels rose briefly after deadly incident again in Russia, official tell state media. Again, that's a wake-up call for humanity. Those scientists have created all this nasty, deadly technology. They're losing control of it because now the reptilians are using it against humanity. Authority in northern Russia detected a brief rise in radiation level following a deadly explosion at a military training ground at the Arkhangelsk region state. So again, you can read all the details. I decided to pick up that one, but that is nothing at all compared to the Marshall Island nuclear coffin that is leaking. They said it's in danger of leaking. It is not. It is already leaking nuclear bomb. I was there. I was on this atoll. I was working there. And of course, I fell out of a machine and I messed up my hip and my back. And I'm still suffering quite a lot from my back. Very tough to stay sitting for long. I can't walk around, but still, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare when I get up in the morning and during the night to sleep. I was there. And my friend says, no, I'm leaving, Louis. I've been living in these atolls next door for years, but my baby is sick. I don't understand why. It was okay. Now she can breathe. So he went to Antarctica to work in construction out there. And then my heart goes to all the people, the locals who live there. They are so innocent. They are so loving people. They beg me to go and go to their house. They treat me like a real good friend. And then those people, they cannot plant on that at all. So they survive with fishing. All the fishes are messed up. This is serious. And yeah, the scientific matrix now, they're spending billions and billions to go on Mars or to weaponize the weather with HARP, or God knows what they want to do on the moon, just to satisfy the ego of those billionaires who can afford the trip. It's terrible. Thousands of cubic meters of radioactive waste lies buried under a concrete dome in the Innuit Atoll in the Marshall Islands, the legacy of over a decade of U.S. nuclear tests in the Pacific. You know, they are not doing just that. They're doing all sorts of technological sounds, work, and that messed up the navigational system of the whales who beach themselves, or dolphins that beach themselves. And then all the people that lives there, I remember some, during the night, oh God, what's going on? What's going on? I stayed there for a few weeks, and in a few weeks, I heard these alarms going off many times. So they're doing their test there, or maybe there is some danger of leaking. I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad that I left. I'm glad I left. I had this accident, and even though I lost a lot of money in the process, I guess my health and my future and my mission is more important than to make, $36 an hour. Well, that's how it is. What else do we have here? New Jersey mayor calls LGBTQ, gays and lesbian movement, an affront to Almighty God. Oh my God. Then these peoples have a position of authority. Everybody run and flock around those idiots every Sunday in every freaking church, which happens to be a bank, to my knowledge, because the reptilians created our religion. And they are listening, and they're being fed by ignorance. This guy does not know that the very people that pray there have suffered illegal or illegal ingestion of drugs. And that allowed the reptilians to go right into the genes and the fetus of these people of faith. And then those people of faith gave birth to gays and lesbians, to Down syndrome, to autistic children, and to a myriad of other diseases that I couldn't even approach. These guys are so freaking stupid, it's scary. Yet they have been put in position of control and power, and they control the information to lead more of you into ignorance and fear. My work helps you to understand those gays and lesbians and realize they are victimized by forces they cannot understand or control. And instead wanted to beat them or say that, it is an affront to the Almighty God, understand, okay? Go and under, so you can stand above the stars and realize what's going on out there by listening to those who knows what's going on. As I say, those who are pretending to be the expert in various areas of the human experience are the least knowledgeable. It's scary. Oh my God, what a young world did I land on. Woman's photo with live octopus goes horribly wrong. Again, I told you a million times, the reptilians will use ego and technology. Well, I'm going to have a lot of hits. I'm going to put this on my Facebook page. And next thing you know, she got bitten by the octopus. At least, she didn't die. A few weeks ago, we had a woman that ran off, got killed by a bunch of wild dogs. You had a little girl that got horned by a buffalo. God knows, it happens all the time because people want to take, pics of themselves, and then sometimes they do that, walking backwards. Next thing you know, they're on the bottom of the Grand Canyon. They're dead. So just be careful. The reptilians will use your ego and technology. She learned a lesson? I hope. Maybe she did. Oh my gosh, this one really got to me. A lioness hits a newborn cub at the zoo. Wow. During one of my SOS to the World Plutonic window, I told you the reptilians will be more than obvious. When is the last time you heard of a lioness eating a newborn? That's hyena. It's not a lioness. They'll die for their progeny. This is crazy. That tells you what the reptilians are doing now, not only to the DNA of humans or the psyche of humans, but also to the psyche of animals. Oh my God. YouTuber appears to abuse her dogs in post. Again, when you do that during 1YS SOS to the World Deadly window, especially Plutonic window, I told you, whatever you do, good or bad, will follow you for the rest of your life. And I did that show yesterday, and I picked up this date with Kerry because I knew, I could really, really reach a lot of people and then expose the reptilians. Got things that have protections, from I got a protection with the Draconis away from the reptilians because of the talisman that I made for myself. So there's people that, appears to be nice people, and then they, their video gets, viral. The next thing you know, they show their true identity because they've been infected. Is it an act of the reptilians, or is it an act of the Draconis? Well, I could tell you that lady who answered my video yesterday was right. It was an act of the reptilians. If you want to know what I'm talking about, well, you have to go back to the other video. So she qualified. She qualified for an introduction to the Cosmic Code for free. So if you're listening, and just email Terania Promo there, okay? Or go to drturi.com and pick one of our email addresses there, and and then join us for free. And then I'm doing it the same, for other people when it's time. But for now, she's going to investigate our daily forecasts and serious guidance. That's why you should join the Cosmic Code and know what's going on. An escaped zebra dies after galloping around the Texas town. Again, those deadly windows do not only affect human beings, they also affect wild animals in various ways. He probably died of heat exhaustions. But hey, the reptilians don't care. The stars don't care. Police, mom took lift and dumped son's body. Pretty much looks like that's a lioness who eats a newborn cub at the zoo. To tell you how low the human spirit has gone down, how infected people are for a mother. It happens all the time. So many people are desensitized, and that's sad. Pretty much like listening the dirt that comes out of the mouth of your president. People are just desensitized. It's normal. It is not normal. It is not normal. You must realize your president is infected and do something about it. Again, my work has nothing to do with politics, so your choice is yours. You like him, you're good. You don't, hey, same. Okay, another thing here that I put, demented and evil. The Hunt is billed as a satire that follows wealthy thrill seekers taking a private jet to a 5-star resort where they hunt deplorable for sport. Man, if that is not the reptilians stimulating the mind of not scientists anymore, but artists to produce such vile video where blood, guts, murder, the lower instinct of the human animalistic behavior is exposed. I don't know what I'm talking about. That. And then after that, you can go to sleep. Remember what I said in Kerry's show. If you cannot sleep because you watch these things, the chances are you're going to be infected, and God knows what's going to happen to you. So make sure to stay. If you go and see a movie like that, don't sleep in the full darkness. Reptilians love the dark. Remember, they lived in dark matter, okay? And they are dark evil angels, so to speak. They are evil, they're demons. So, and also use that running water, the negative ion of a running little fountain will attract the reptilians, and they will let you alone. They will leave you alone. So be aware. And if that doesn't work, then, you know, get one of my talismans. There's nothing else that I can explain more than this. This is disgusting. It's like all this, you know, shooting videos that all the kids are playing every day because the mother is too busy on Facebook or whatever. And then next thing you know, those kids, yeah, just remember when I was a kid, I remember I saw Zorro when I came out. I was just swearing, you know, I was Zorro. I was a kid. It affected my psyche. So do you think playing all day long those video games is good for your child? That's how the reptilians get to them. Forget about the 5G telephone and all this electronic energy that gets through here that mess up your information from your UCI. That leads to a lot of depression, confusion, fears. Next thing you get infected and you kill yourself, or you make sure you kill all the people with you. Never stop. It's going to get worse unless you guys help me and get it. All right. 3 American tourists drowned during island beach vacation. Again, you know, those guys decide to go during one of my negative window, conjuncting their negative cosmic biorhythm. The next thing you know, they don't come back. There's no accident, my friend. Get it? There are no accidents. There are only cosmic circumstances at work that you haven't been trained to decipher, to understand, or to use. Astronomer uncover invisible ancient galaxy. How the hell can you uncover invisible galaxy? And he's trying to lure you. Okay. Jupiter's stunning detailed portrait snapped by Hubble. That's beautiful. You can see the technology of our planet. But, you know, what about his soul? His part in the cosmic code. His part in the soul of the cosmos. His inner influences upon humanity. What about his real mystical purpose? Who is explaining this? NASA? The scientific community, the astronomers? No, they can only see to the end of their nose, and they only use their 5 rational limited senses to tell you the distance, the composition, whatever is happening with Jupiter. Take nice pictures. There is so much more. Jupiter rules foreigners, teaching, publishing, religions, the codification of thought. Wherever it is located in your chart will depict if you're going to be friends with foreigners or not. Look at your president. He was born with that planet on his dragon's tail. So each time he opens his mouth about foreigners and foreign land, he stimulates fear and feed the reptilians. He does not know. President Trump is a human being. Okay, he's rational, he's practical. He was all too busy all his life to brush his ego, to promote his ego, and then enrich himself nonstop. So it's greed, power, and ego that infect our president. There's millions of people like this on planet Earth that have so much money, and they save it and they die with it. Long story, or worse, they give it to the church. And that's why the reptilians created all the churches and all the religions on the planet. And that's why they are so very rich. And they control the informations. All right, what else do we have? Cats understand their name and are probably just ignoring you. Again, the scientific community idiocy. As I said earlier, with Jupiter, they use only their 5 logical, rational human senses to explain their views of what cats do or don't do. If they ignore you or if they don't, oh, believe me, cats do not ignore you. Oh, no. They are the camera of the soul of every human being. Oh, my gosh. Now, you have a link. It's called The Karmic Purpose of Cats and Dogs on Planet Earth. Just click in it and educate yourself. So next time you delegate with your cat or your dog, you'll know a little bit more than these stupid scientists who have no form of cosmic consciousness whatsoever. Taiwan and Japan braces for potential super typhoon. Okay. All I can tell you is it will happen during my SOS to the World Deadly Window. I gave the link of Kerry's Project Camelot TV show we did last night. You already have the date, but just pay attention to what we spoke about, and then make the most of what we are giving the world. And ask yourself, what did you give the world today? Remember karma. Well, give Dr. Turi. That's a lot. If you say you have nothing to offer, no. Give Dr. Turi's cosmic wisdom. Be part of the solution. Okay? Work with the Draconis. Get your force from the sun, the love, light, the future. All right. Last one is toilet explodes after lightning strike. Oh my God, imagine that. You're taking a dump, and next thing you know, everything on it, boing. Well, I mean, you're definitely suffering one of your 2019 cosmic biorhythm. My add negative cosmic biorhythm. Oh, well, this is too much. Remember, my friend, there are no accidents. That's what it comes down to it. Okay. Go under your star so you can stand above with me, leading you to understand God cosmic design, God cosmic divinity, Jesus' initial cosmic ministry. Until then, hey, hopefully, God willing, God bless all of you and make it a beautiful day. Goodbye.